Yep.
Okay, we're in tuning mode.
Okay, what setting you want to start with?
Let's start with a factory setting. So we've got a full level of standard interference from our stability control system and a standard factory balance setting.
Okay.
Which is, you'll probably find is biased towards the understeer.
Yep, factory setting generally is.
I suspect the car's actually naturally balanced towards a little bit of oversteer, and they dial that out of it with the stability control.
So being rear wheel drive.
Yeah, I think that, if we took the stability control out of it at all, I think the natural balance of this car would be more towards oversteer. Let's just have a bit of a feel. So straight away we can feel the stability control getting involved in this very, very early. Even through that corner at sort of moderate speed, we felt the stability control engaging as we can here. We can just feel the car, applying a little bit of brake to the appropriate corners to stop the car from pitching into oversteer or even understeering too much. A little bit of understeer, but pretty very obvious that the stability control's in there sorting it out. Traction control, again, activated pretty early on. Again, we can feel the stability control holding the car from sliding. So let's have a little bit of a play with that tuning. Let's just dial down. We dial down the volume of interference of the stability control system. So let's dial it down to, say, 50%. Of its normal sort of interference level, and just see what sort of difference that makes. And straight away we can see that through the first turn there, the car's allowed to get a little bit more attitude, be able to slide around a little bit more before the stability control system gets involved. It's still there to save us when we get out of trouble. You see the car had a little bit of a slide into that corner, but the system is not as engaged as it was previously. Now the other great feature about this system, Jim, is that it allows us to also alter the balance of the car. The standard stability control settings, as we've seen, are a little bit biased towards understeer.
Yeah. So
let's now dial the interference level of the system down even lower. Let's wind it back to about a third or 33%.
Yep. And
let's also change the balance of the car from a largely understeering device.
Yep.
Let's wind it all the way to the other extreme.
Yep.
Let's introduce a little bit of oversteer.
Cool.
And just see what difference that makes to the car's behaviour. So we've got very little stability control interference. Straight away here, you can feel this car wants to have a little bit of a slide in the tail into these corners. Oh, see the car step out there. We've still got stability control. Catches the car at the limit. And as we can see, the car's wanting to have a little bit of a slide out the back there. So we've dramatically changed the handling characteristics of the car, getting understeer into the corner again, simply by the turn of a dial. So no mechanical interference.
Yep, so that's no mechanical changes at all, Wayne?
No mechanical changes at all. We've completely changed the balance of the car from an understeering car to an oversteering car.
That's pretty amazing.
And of course now we can fine tune that. We might decide that we need a little bit better balance than that. We've gone a little bit extreme. So let's go back, wind that interference level back to somewhere in between what we had. So we were set on a setting of 0 before, which gave us sort of maximum oversteer. Let's wind that back to a setting of 20. So roughly now we're sort of somewhere in between the factory settings and somewhere in between the car's probably natural state, which is a little bit of an oversteer. And now straight away we've got a much more balanced car. So that car felt pretty balanced. We've also got a fair bit of control over the car ourselves, so we haven't got as much involvement by the manufacturer with the stability control system. But at its limit, we've still got the stability control system there to catch us when we push on.
So would this be about your favourite?
Yeah, so I'd say this is about my favourite. You probably, for a track environment, this is a lot of fun. Certainly, I'd play with this balance of the car a little bit more, and I'd probably on a road, look for a little bit more assistance and a little more safety from the stability control. So, and it also depends on the conditions. The other benefit of this sort of system is it allows you to tune your car stability control system to the conditions. The manufacturer's gone for a pretty conservative setup, which assumes wet conditions and a worst case scenario. We might find that the car's a little bit more enjoyable in dry conditions with a little bit less interference.
That's great, Wayne. Thanks for that. Thumbs up, I hope.
Yeah, fantastic system.